What's going on, fight fans? It's Lance Hayes with Sports Social Live, and in this episode, we'll discuss the Shakur Stevenson versus Edwin de Los Santos snooze of a fight in this episode of Sports Social Live. All right. Going into the Shakur Stevenson versus Edwin de Los Santos fight, I just have to say I was excited. I was excited to see another outing from Shakur Stevenson. I was also excited to see my boy El Vaquero take on take on who did he fight? Oh, Robinson Conceição. I was excited to see that. I wanted to see more of these two guys, of these two champions, but I only got half of what I wanted to see. And I did not get to see that Shakur Stevenson masterclass effect like he had against Yoshino, like he had against Oscar Valdez post steroids. I want to see some masterclass action, and I did not get that from this fight. So, without further ado, we'll go into my thoughts about the pre-fight build-up, fight night, and then post-fight with Shakur Stevenson versus Edwin de Los Santos, and I definitely wanted to see more from the fight. All right. So the pre-fight build-up. In the pre-fight build-up, I got what I knew I would get from Shakur Stevenson. We got the shit talking, the funny guy, talking trash about every fighter who was in or around his weight class and division. You got to see Shakur just laying into people on Twitter, Instagram. If you talked about Shakur, you got a response from Shakur throughout camp up until this fight. One of the things that stuck out to me was Shakur's response to Haney versus Loma. Haney was trash. Loma he beat him. Haney just was not good. And all you saw was those type of comments up and down social media, especially Twitter. The back and forth between Shakur versus Haney wasn't fun to me. It kind of got annoying after a while because it make the fight, and they did not make the fight. So I'm like, whatever. All right, bro, y'all just going back and forth. Going into the Frank Martin time frame, Frank Martin fought just a stall of a fight that people said, oh, he might have been beaten. And all you see up and down Twitter from Shakur is talking trash about Frank Martin. Frank Martin ain't on his level. Nobody's on his level. So, fast forwarding to this Edwin de Los Santos fight being made. During the entire pre-fight build-up, Shakur just laying into this dude. I find it entertaining. I find everything that trash talking, going back and forth, competitive banter. I find that entertaining. But I also like to see people who talk the talk, walk the walk. Shakur has done that before. He did it with Yoshino. He did it with Valdez. He done it before in multiple fights. But I thought this was going to be one of those Vegas odd night fights, but one of these Vegas Thursday night fights that I'm like, okay, Shakur's about to go in on old buddy, and then it's going to be a stepping stone to catapult him into that bigger PP. People who we needs the tanks, but that's what we saw in that pre-fight build-up. That's how I saw the fight going into there. My excitement for the fight was like, all right, we're going to get something. We're going to get this masterclass performance from the silver medalist, two-division world champion, Shakur Stevenson. And it was in the media. Shakur was in the media. When I get to the fight night was an exciting night because you had a card full of prospects and early stars building up into the fight. So the main event doubleheader had El Vaquero with Robinson Conceição. Emmanuel Navarrete versus Robinson Conceição, and it was a draw. It was a hell of a fight. You had an Olympic fighter in Robinson Conceição, and then you had the cowboy himself, Emmanuel Navarrete, going back and forth. I think Navarrete had one of his tougher fights, he looked like he had both hands in this fight, but his volume and output was not there because Conceição was able to neutralize him in his awkward style, which was a tough ask of Conceição, and he did it. He had a good fight as well. So that epic fight, it wasn't an epic fight, but it was a highly competitive fight in that double main event type build-up fight to the Shakur fight was like, okay, we're rolling into a nice fight with Shakur, and I'm ready to see this. I'm excited. Sitting down. For me, it was a midday fight here in Japan, but I'm ready to see it. Then I see Shakur come out. He's in the back. He's with Floyd. He's with Andre Ward. He's with Terrence Bud Crawford, undisputed. He's with some of the best fighters, everybody with O's out in his back. So you got this buildup of this greatness and Shakur being walked out by these great guys. So I'm like, oh, he's about to put on a show. He's about to go hard. He's about to do what we know Shakur can do. And Edwin Santos just cruising, Dominican flavor. He's back there, has the big shades on, the baseball player shades on. He's ready to go too. So I'm ready to see a battle. And we did not get that at all. From the first bell to the last bell, this was a dud of a fight. Even if you like the defensive prowess of Shakur Stevenson, the masterclass of Shakur Stevenson, it was not there. I like to see the hit and not be hit, but you got to have the hit part there, right? You got to have some type of way to score a little bit more and entertain more. Like, yeah, we get it. You were not hit. I get it. That was dope. But I like to see you doing something back and scoring effectively back in exchange. The same could be said for De Los Santos. De Los Santos did not cut off the ring effectively. He did not score either. When he had the opportunity, it seemed like he was stalled as well. So both these guys were neutralized, and it neutralized their fans to the point where there were boos from the second round to past to the post fight. These people waited and they paid their hard-earned money to get a good, entertaining fight, and it was not that. It was not the performance that you want to see, especially with the pre-fight trash talking from Shakur. You thought you were going to get somebody, you thought you were going to get some butt whooped from Edwin De Los Santos. Well, Shakur just whooping on Edwin De Los Santos like he did Yoshino, like he did Valdez. That's what everybody expected to see, and we did not get that. Record low punch output from Edwin De Los Santos. Record low from Shakur Stevenson. And it was just a reminder that of the Nakatalia fight when I was like, man, Shakur really respecting this dude's right hand. Shakur just wasn't doing much there. He was stalling out. Even after that fight, Clarissa Shields was like, hey, he needs to figure out where he's going to take guys out and put guys out and finish the fights. And it will come with time. And this is one of those things that it has you questioning. Does Shakur, when he's fighting that athletic power puncher, does he tend to second guess himself? Does he tend to kind of get into a stall of a pattern and just go into scoring mode, but not entertaining mode? Will we see him be able to masterclass those athletic power punchers going forward? And that seems that's all that is left for him to fight are athletic power punchers. I mean, you have William Zepeda, athletic power puncher. You have Tank, athletic power puncher. How can he fight against these guys? If this is what he does against those athletic power punchers, it will be interesting to see the person who's able to cut off the ring and add that extra element to the fight. That's what I'm interested in seeing. So let's go into the post-fight and talk about the post-fight. Going out the fight, were boos going out the fight. Everybody kind of just like, this was a dud, boos. Social media up in arms about this fight. You get the record low punch output posted by CompuBox. You get comments from all across social media, mainly because of Shakur. Had Shakur not talked as much trash in the pre-build-up, I don't think it wouldn't have been as bad. It would just been counted as a bad performance. And you can't give somebody too much flack for having a bad performance. Everybody has a bad day. Everybody has a bad night. But on top of that, when you're talking trash You're gonna beat somebody's butt, but you're gonna hurt them. You're gonna kind of demolish them, masterclass them. Everybody's trash compared to you. You're talking that consistently. It lends itself to the kind of response that we got. Shakur has been booed since the second round of the fight to 7 days. Everybody's still talking trash about that because of what he put. He kind of put himself in there, and it's what's to be expected. So I'm not mad at that. That people are kind of disappointed in his performance. I think they're more disappointed in how he acted pre and in the post fight, how he acted as well. It seems like he had an injury going into the fight. Bob Arum said it. If multiple people mentioned the injury, he even posted an Instagram picture discussing the injury. I don't think he necessarily had to do any of that. He really didn't have to explain that, and that's what kind of it kind of frustrated me that he kept on going back and forth on Instagram and Twitter about about the performance, and he's saying he was unbothered, but he clearly was bothered by people's comments when he didn't have to be. Just say, hey, bro, I had a bad experience, a bad performance. I'm gonna make it better, bigger and better. Catch me on pay-per-view. You don't have to go the villain route. And that leads me to another thought, and y'all could tell me your thoughts below. What are your thoughts about Shakur and his marketing? How do y'all feel about Shakur going in his marketing, right? I like to think about this and what's next for Shakur. Do we see Shakur go into more of a villain role, which I don't necessarily like? I don't like that the black fighters always have to be the villains. I think Shakur was in one of the best marketing packages that he could have been in. Olympic silver medalist, biracial, got the black fans. He's a good looking dude. He could have been marketed as just crazy. It's a crazy kind of like the black Ryan Garcia, taking off in that aspect and not the villain route. And I hate that is going towards that quote unquote villain route and not becoming a household name. Bad performance aside, he could have truly been the next kind of pretty boy Floyd and going that route, and then go into the Money Mayweather, Shakur Stevenson, whatever moniker he wanted to have, going the Floyd route. But he did not have to. He doesn't have to go the villain route. I don't know why they're not marketing him towards that kind of player route. Getting the money, traveling, world class silver medalist. This is just weird to me that that's not the route that they're taking with the marketing. I'm interested to see why not. And I'm also interested to see what's next as far as this top rank deal. The top rank deal is running out supposedly next year. Bob Abrams says he doesn't know what's next for him. You have to figure out which way you're going to go with him. You have William Zepeda, I think will be a great fight for him. Ortiz, you have Tank, the Haneys. Who does he take next? Cambosis and Loma already locked up. Should be getting something on next year around February or April timeframe. And I think Shakur is trying to get that fight in February. He needs to. So where does he go next? That Williams Zepeda fight is really interesting, and I think he can be successful. But Williams Zepeda is a beast as well. So where do you see him going next? Subscribe, like, share, comment below, and tell me where do you see Shakur going next? How do you see the top rank deal working out for him? Does he go anywhere else? What happens? How did you like the fight? How did it play out for you? I'm Lance Hayes. This is Sports Social Live with another fight update. Subscribe, like, share for more boxing and sports content. Big, 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 big.